So there we go. And welcome to our Team Endurance Tuesday night calls. And for, what is this, October 5th? There you go, 2015. Awesome. So Stephanie, do you have some recognition for us today?
I do. I wanted to congratulate Kim on hitting Success Club in her first month, which means she earns that call with Carl. And if she hits Success Club for the next 2 months, if I'm correct, she will get her summit ticket free, which is awesome.
That's cool.
And then also Jen has 2 Success Club points already this month too.
Jen
Millard.
Millard. Okay. Very cool. Very cool. And I just wanted to point out too, of course, that our buddy coach here, Brent, is now he did post that he's got his Ruby Award too. So that was pretty clever of you to get Diamond and then drop back to Ruby to get the prizes from the company. I thought that was pretty exciting stuff. So hopefully you'll enjoy.
Well, actually, I got that from being Ruby the first week.
Yeah.
And then
So you haven't gotten anything from being Diamond yet, then?
No, I have. What happened was I got right when I went Ruby. I was Ruby for that 1 week. I got an award, and they said they're going to mail me it, and then I got that today. But then a couple days ago, I think 3 days ago, I just got an email. I just got that they're mailing out my Diamond pack.
Oh, okay.
So my Diamond pack's still away. My sweater and all the whatever they give me, I don't know.
Yeah. Awesome. So that's cool though.
Yeah.
I don't know if you get the Ruby automatically if you skipped over it though. So
no, but I was Ruby for a week.
I know.
And that's why they're giving me. That's what it's from.
Awesome.
So yeah, cool.
That's cool. Yeah. So thanks, Steph. And so tonight though, my little bit of chat here is about what I've been working on. You guys know that when I share with the group, it's typically something that I'm working on myself, which makes it really easy for me because this is something that I've been thinking about a lot. And so I've been doing my PD. Like I said, I listen to life leadership stuff in my car on the way back and forth to work. And this was something that just popped up and I've heard it before. So I thought, you know what, this is stuff that I've been working on for a while. So what I wanted to talk about tonight was this concept of define, learn, and do. So I don't know if you've ever heard of that, but it's very simple, and it's something that'll work in all areas of your life. And I really am kind of drawn, of course, to PD that's going to help me in all areas, just not Beachbody coaching. And I want to reiterate that, what was one of the most exciting things about going to Summit was that it was amazing about how many of the different talks and different, program things that we went to that were actually focused on not only on Beachbody stuff, of course, of helping you be a better coach, but also to help you be a better person in all areas of your life. So when I heard this talk on define, learn, and do, I thought, this is exactly the kind of stuff you hear at Summit. So super excited to get back there with a bunch of you guys. So anyway, first of all, what they're talking about basically, to sum it up real quick and then go into a little bit more detail, define is where you figure out what you want to do in your life, right? So for Beachbody, this is for your business, really, this is all about defining your goals. And this is something that I've really been struggling with lately. Really not lately, really ever since I started. And I think one of the problems that I have in my business is that I don't have super powerful goals that I need to really achieve. And sometimes I will slack off in my business because those goals aren't right there in front of me all the time. And so one of the things that I've been working on is to try to define really what my goals are for this business. And so basically what we were talking about and what I've been learning about is how to make these goals stand out. So one of the first things, though, that we talked about at dinner tonight, my family always loves Tuesday nights because I get to talk to them about what we're going to talk about here tonight. So we were talking about one of the ways to to really help you define your goal is to make a list of 100 things you want to do right before you die. Kind of like a bucket list, except huge, right? And from that, creating that list of 100 things that you want to do, hopefully you'll develop a sense of where you want to go, right? With your business. And what are your goals? It'll help you to just kind of clarify that. So that's how you can kind of work on, coming up with a stronger goal. So we're working on that here in our household. The other thing then is once you get your goal is to commit it to your subconscious. Now, the PD that I was listening to, they talked a lot about getting things into your subconscious. And they were talking about some research that they'd read about how 80% of the decisions that you make in your life are driven by your subconscious. And if you think about that, it's probably true. Like the big decisions that you make in your life, sometimes you make a decision, you're not really sure why you made that decision. Well, they're claiming that that's because your subconscious is what really is driving a lot of your decision making. So if you think about it, how do we get then these goals that we've developed for our business into our subconscious, right? And they talked a lot about making it into a vision, right? Something that you can see every day, and put it somewhere where you can obviously see it every single day until it becomes ingrained into your subconscious, right? So I know you've probably heard lots of different things like that, like making a vision board, making up something, and of kind of, putting your goals up somewhere so that you can see them over and over again. And really the whole idea behind that is to train yourself to not have to think about your decisions that you're making for your business, right? Which is where I'm at right now. Every time I have to make a decision of whether I want to work on my Beachbody stuff or do something else, I've got to rationalize it. And you need to get past that, right? If your goals are to build your business, then that should just be something that you continuously do without even having to think about it, right? So here's the big thing too that kind of stood out to me as I was listening to this stuff. And they made a good point talking about how if you don't train your subconscious to go towards your goal or to kind of reach your vision of what your life needs to be, something else will, right? And that's kind of, if you think back, for me especially, a lot of things in life, like this grad program that I'm dealing with right now, that was like something that just kind of happened to me, and somebody else kind of decided that was a good thing for me, and I just kind of went along with it, and it ended up, it's going to be a good thing in the end, but it just takes up a lot of my time right now that I feel like could be spent in better ways. And one of the good quotes that they had was that you really only have control over 3 things in your life, right? This was a quote from Jack Canfield that was, you really have control over the thoughts that you think, right? The images that you visualize and the actions that you take about them, right? So if you could get to the point where you can actually visualize what your life would be like if you reach those goals that you set for yourself, right? And constantly be thinking about, okay, what would my life look like? For me, my goal right now really is to be able to retire from teaching after 30 years, which will be 4 years from now, and to be able to do this business to make up the difference in my retirement, for what I'm going to miss for retirement. I want this to be my full-time job in 4 years. So my problem is I have no idea what that looks like. I have no idea. It seems like such a long ways away that I have a hard time visualizing it. And that's what I need to work on. It's just kind of going through, what would that look like if I could actually retire from teaching and do Beachbody full time, right? So that's what I'm working on, right? Now, here's the thing. Most of us stop when we define our goals, we might get to that point where we write something down, we stick it on our computer, or we put it in our, our Beachbody notebook that we all have, right? Our calendars, everything we keep, everything tracked. We might put it in there. But for most people, that's where they stop, right? And that's where the next part comes into play, is learning, right? The big thing for us is that that's where it kind of gets hard, right? If I can visualize what I want to be like in 4 years, where I have my Beachbody business going, you guys are all going great as coaches. It's just, it's really running smoothly, whatever that looks like. I'm going to have to do some learning in order to get to that spot, right? And, so really, Beachbody's really been working hard over the last couple of years, for sure, to put together really good training. And so there really isn't any excuse for not learning or not having materials ready. So you can't say, well, I'm having a hard time at the business because I can't figure out what to do. There's lots and lots of training available. And really, the thing that's amazing about Beachbody is that you start meeting people that are either above you, as coaches, or below you that you work with as coaches, that are doing things that you're not so good at, right? And if you can identify what that is, like for me, for example, I know that I struggle, and I've told you guys this before, talking on the phone. When I meet people face to face, I sometimes have a hard time getting across to them, what Beachbody is about and how it can help them. And, that's something that I work on. And the cool thing about that is that, we have somebody on our team, Brent is right here, who's an expert at, talking to people and talking them into getting them into something that'll help them. I mean, think about that. So Brent, last month, you had 20 Success Club points. You had 8 Success Club points on your wife's account, from what I can see on my end of the office. As far as I can, know that he's an expert. Okay, so we have somebody right here on our team that we can learn from. And that's the amazing thing about Beachbody. We don't have to, search out somebody else. We have somebody right here on our team. So super lucky to have that here. And Brent's going to talk to us a little bit tonight about where he learns stuff from, right? And that's the big thing, is that you have to do professional or personal development. That's, sorry, teacher talk there, but same thing, right? If you're not doing any personal development, you're not going to, you're not going to reach your goals. You're not going to get that vision. You're not going to get to that vision that you're looking for. You've got to, do the learning part of it. And of course, that's why that's one of our 3 vital behaviors. So, so the last part is doing, right? So the key is, right? So you've set your goals, you've visualized where you want to be. You can see yourself there. You can see yourself there. You can see what it's going to be like to, in my case, to run the business full time, to have a ton more time to do other stuff or whatever, clean the house, I don't know, vacuum, but I don't know. And then you have researched and you've learned from the best, and you've done every bit of personal development that you have time for, and you are ready. The next step, right, is to do it. And again, I've talked about this in our other calls too, is that there are things that hold us from actually doing, what we've learned. And I think for me, the big thing is fear, right? That, that I'm afraid really to talk to people on the phone. I'm afraid of what they'll think of me when I meet with them face to face. And that, of course, what we talked about on a couple of calls ago, right? The way to deal with that is to face it and do it, right? Practice and practice and practice. And here's the big thing. You got to believe in yourself, right? So, and I don't know if it shows at all, but I'm somebody that's struggled with self-esteem my whole entire life. And I think being a Beachbody coach has been a real step for me to be able to talk to people about fitness and getting healthy, because in my life, I really never was anybody who was really into fitness or into being healthy at all. And so I think a lot of the self-concept stuff has to come from, getting out there and practicing and being able to put that fear aside and asking yourself, remember we talked about this, right? Is it going to hurt anybody? Is it going to hurt you? Right? And if it's not, then what's stopping you, right? Some embarrassment? Yeah. That's not really enough to hold you back, hopefully. Right? So when we're talking about, the big thing this month, inviting 3 people, right? What are you going to do when they respond to you? You need to have something in place, right? And you need to follow through, and you need to do it, and you need to ask them, and you need to ask them the questions that you're embarrassed to ask them about, And I think that's something where, you really need to focus on believing in yourself and having that positive, self-talk where I know Coach Danielle talks about this all the time, too, is that, you really need to be positive in all of the areas that you talk, and that you do. And even when you're talking to yourself, right? Work on being positive when you're talking about yourself and your workouts, and, compliment yourself and really, get yourself to a point where, you should be telling people about what you're doing in your life. And once you start to believe that this is something other people need to know about so they can, get the same help that you have, then it should be a lot easier to talk to people, right? So there you go, right? Define your goals, visualize them, make them part of your subconscious, right? Just, absorb it and have it there so that, it's right there whenever you're thinking about what your future is going to be about. And then learn, right? Do your PD all the time, right? As much as you can. And then you got to step out and do it. Put the fear aside and go do it. Whatever's holding you back, right? Because we have, 37 coaches on this page right now. And I don't think all 37 of them are inviting people, and there's a reason for that. I think it's mostly because they're afraid. So we've got to help each other and boost each other up, right? And then talk to ourselves in a positive way so that we can get out and do that. All right, there you go. That was my motivational talk for today. And Brent, are you there? I can't see you on my...
I'm here, dude.
All right. So give us a little rundown of what you do. What did you do to get yourself to the point where you're at right now? Can you give us just a brief history of Beachbody 101 for Brent?
Well, I think you bring up some... I think all of these are kind of like, I'd say the trifecta, but you've got, when you talk about personal development, belief, and just stepping outside of the lines, like you brought up in the call, Tim, I think the biggest thing, number one, was I had to work on myself. My fitness and nutrition have always been important to me, but going about this in a way that wasn't going to be salesy or in a way that wasn't going to be icky and sticky and all that was something I had to learn as I went. And my intentions and my presentation of that has changed over time. And I think, Tim brought up some really good points in this call. And I'll just mention obviously we talked about 3 vital behaviors. We all know it. We see it all the time. They're daily behaviors. We all are responsible for our own businesses. And, you can make excuses, but, and you can have excuses, but personal development is an area that's probably the easiest one to miss. And by far, and I've had this conversation with Tim many times, personal development is definitely an area that can be easily skipped. That's the part that I've worked on personally. There's people like Darren Hardy that I think there's just some really great resources. We were, obviously, you guys know, we were blessed for a while to have Tommy's calls, and those were personally, again, this is just me speaking, what's helped me over the years. Tommy and his philosophy of meeting people where they're at, and he was kind of had that balance of he's very aggressive, but he's also sensitive. That to me, my personality traits in the books I've read, and we see all the Rubies and all the different person in some of the Danny Johnson books, but he's like, that's motivating to me, and so I had to work on myself. So what I would say is with personal development, you got to start within. Obviously, we're not Beachbody. You want to be yourself. And Tim brought up in the beginning of the call, besides Beachbody, the personal development that we get from this company isn't about how many challenge packs we can sell or what rank we're going to get. It really is truly about who we are in all aspects of life. And that's what I found. This business has strengthened my marriage. It's made me a better dad. We are involved in more social gathering. We're in with our church. So I think by far, personal development is an area that you really have to not just skip, and I'm glad Tim kind of left off with that. In the belief system, I'll be honest with you, there have been lots of times, I still have times where I doubt, what the future holds, but I know that you can only control what today, and the past is the past. So Tim brings up a good point with belief. I think you need to know that, you're going to make mistakes, in this business. I make mistakes every day. We all make mistakes. And that's just part of it. You got to get uncomfortable. I don't know what the line is they use all the time, but one thing I'm failing forward in some of the books and just the PDI, I'm a CD guy too, in the car and the DVDs, is just to step outside. I'm not afraid of no's. We heard go for no's. I love going for no, and I get more no's than yeses. And my biggest thing is I just try to, I believe, I know that this is, not of this business, I know this helping people is something that I am truly passionate about. And it's something that I feel like it's what I'm passionate about. And so stepping outside of my comfort level and just trying to reach more people on social media is something I always think I don't want to, my biggest fear is that I don't want to scare people away, because I really do try to come from a genuine place, but it's hard for me because I don't want people to scare them away like I'm too crazy fitness or too much. That's not my life. I don't want to make Beachbody my life, but it's part of my life. It's not everything. So I think that there's just so many overlying points that Tim brought up tonight. And you really just have to, just take it, day by day with all those, with personal development and belief, and believe in yourself, and don't be afraid to step outside of your comfort zone. So, is there questions that you guys?
Yeah, you brought up some awesome points too. But what would you say would be the number one thing that you used over the last couple of years what was probably the most important thing that you did for your personal development?
I think Darren Hardy, I've said this many times. Darren Hardy, it's ironic too, guys, because he's actually our Success Club this month. I think we get a call with him if you reach Success Club, which is pretty cool. Darren Hardy has a book, The Compound Effect. That book by far changed my life. I've listened to it, and I've read all the books the company's put out. Darren Hardy is by far, he's got Darren Daily every morning. I wake up, and it's just how I start my day. It's just like Tim talked about, you guys listen to this, the note card situation, and you have to train, I went from that. I'm that person right now speaking. I was the person who had to believe, I didn't believe in personal development. I was I'm too stubborn. There's no way I'm going to listen to anybody tell me what to do. I'm just not going to do it. And I'll be the first to sit here and tell you that I should have, dropped anchor on my foot, because seriously, it's ridiculous. The personal development that I've learned from this company, like I said, going in Darren Daily, is tremendous in all aspects. So if there's anything I can fail forward with and just continue to push on, is I think that is by far, everyone has different motivators. We all have different speakers that we gravitate towards. Some people a little aggressive, a little more soft. We all have different personalities. Personally, Darren, if I get a chance to meet that guy, I tell you, man, he's got a bear hug coming. So that's yeah.
How do you get on those the daily Darren stuff? Is that a YouTube channel, or is? If
it's actually on his web, you can go to his website. It's darrendaily.com, and I think that'll link you to his daily. Some days he has videos, some days he has quotes, and it's all different aspects of just how to move forward in life, whether financially, whether your relationships. That's what I love about it, is that it's not just about the paycheck. It's not about the income. It's truly about when I drive to work every day, I'm thinking I used to think, you think about, okay, it's survival. You're working, you're stressed out. It's me. What am I going to do to survive through the day? And I'm trying still. This is one of my areas I'm working on, is to reach. What can I do for others, even when times are tough and you're swamped and you're stressed out and things you're having a tough, what can I do? What is something I can do to help somebody else to pay it forward? Just like a non-negotiable. That'd be like, okay, listen, just do this. And that's what it's, that's truly what it's about. So that's what I'm trying to do. And that's what the personal development of Darren, especially him specifically, has helped me a lot. So is to put others first, even when it's not convenient, the timing's off, but so.
Yeah, that's awesome. I just signed up right here. You go to his website and he's got a 5 minutes a day, 5 days a week thing. You can get it as a text, right? Or
yeah.
how do you get it as an email?
I get it as an email in the morning usually between 5 and 7. So on the car ride in, like when I'm checking in, like obviously, reading posting in our groups, I'll say like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Hey.
While your wife is driving, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
That's awesome.
I knew I missed that.
That's awesome. That's exactly what I was hoping you would share with us. And this is something that, like you said, if Darren doesn't speak to you, you can find a lot of other people that can, and like I was telling you, I have this series, this life leadership stuff that I do. And it's just, it's stuff that I listen to that makes me a better teacher. Like you said, a better dad, a better husband. Everything you listen to is focused on your whole life. And they do that for a reason so that it reaches the biggest market. But it's going to help you be a better Beachbody coach too, for sure.
Yeah. Can I say really quick, I know this is like, you guys are like, this is like the worst comparison ever. But like seriously, longevity, I've talked to so when I signed up as a coach, I was kind of like fearful, like how am I going to go out and help people? Like I'm not sure what to do. And this has been obviously this is a continuing ongoing process. So my wife signed me up to coach my daughter's soccer team. And so far, this is what I know. It's been a scary roller coaster, like for 4-year-olds. But the one thing I know is that I've indirectly strengthened, like as we know as teachers, like my daughter being gone, I'm strengthening my relationship with my daughter, and she's having fun. I'm having fun. I'll tell you guys. I'm coaching 4-year-olds, and I'm totally comfortable with sports, but I'm telling you, like it's totally outside it. Like Tim talks about, like talking on the phone. I will tell you, one of my fears when those kids showed up and the parents are all like, it's like the first day you teach, 10 years ago, and you have open house and the parents, I'm like, that's how I feel when I teach the first game. It's getting better, but I'm like, you know what? I listen to Darren daily and I'm like, listen, I know what I'm doing, but when you have parents out there, it's like the kids are laying on the ground. It's like it's stressful because you're always thinking, what are people thinking of you? And I've trained myself to be like, listen, I can't control that. What I can do is control myself. Right. And so the kids are having fun. The parents it's not about me. It's about what so, and that's, laugh as you may, but like coaching 4-year-olds with all those parents is totally, and I don't mind talking to the parents after the game. We should but coaching them is totally outside of my comfort zone. Oh, like unlike our challenge group, like where I am like 120% comfortable with that and dialogue and helping people. So it's just funny. Everyone's a little different, but that is something like I know right now I'm working on my relationship with my daughter. She's having fun, kids, and I'm like, there's a reason why my wife signed me up in the assistant. They said, you're going to be a head coach, not an assistant coach. And I was literally like, oh my God, this is not coming back.
Yeah.
Anyway, so does that make any sense?
Oh yeah, man. That's perfect. Perfect.
So, anyway.
Stepping out.
So.
All right. Well, thanks guys. Thanks for showing up, and hopefully we'll get the coaches who weren't on tonight to watch this video. It was a good call. We got a lot of good information. So, all right.
Still forward.
That's it. Yeah, that's it for our Tuesday night. Thanks for showing up, everybody, and we will see you next Tuesday, right? Oh, a couple of quick things before we hang up, right?
Super Saturday, dude.
Super Saturday is the 17th. Well, it's the weekend of the 17th. Get to an event if you can. I know the Grand Rapids one with Leslie Cortez is going to be it's going to be big. Janelle Summers, who is like the top coach in our network, she's going to be there, and hopefully she'll impart some amazing wisdom. So get there if you can to that one. There was something else too that I wanted to say, and I didn't.
Do you guys just come up and coming over? Tim, you guys, everyone knows the Team Cup last year was in October. It's going to be in November this month, so that's going to be on the back burner too. Just thinking about.
That's the one with just the two people, right?
No, that's maybe. Oh, I thought it was
Isn't it the classic?
Where you just
I thought they meant in the 411 video that it was going to be the teams of 5, but you know what?
I don't know for sure.
Okay, so just think, I mean, that's just, either way, that's, just think of the collaboration coming up here with, and who knows, obviously that's going to give us momentum with, you guys know that, Hammer and Chisel's coming out, and this is, the work we put in, here's the thing, the work you guys we're going to put in now is going to pay off in the new year. I mean, you're laying the foundation. This is the fourth quarter. Yep. I mean, everyone on this call, most of you guys have been around. The work you do now is all going to pay dividends in the new year. So you just know that. I mean, it's not evident. It's not going to be evident right now necessarily in the paycheck. It's not going to be evident. It's always in the effort, but it will, it'll come full circle. So I always know this time, especially as Christmas season coming around, people are going to give you the money objections with Christmas gifts. It's going to come. Just expect it, but just know that the new year, when they wake up on January 1st and they're like, holy crap, I didn't do anything, I've made every excuse in the world, they're going to look for you for help. So don't give up on people. Plant the seeds now. Right,
be there. So I know that Stephanie, your team is doing a coach sneak peek, and so I think we're going to do one also right now. We need to do at least a sneak peek every month, and really start trying to build and get as many coaches involved as possible, get them trained up so that they're ready for that for the New Year's also. So we'll be running an ad in our challenge group and probably in our personal walls here. To see if we can get some more people interested in the coach sneak peek. So, sound good?
Sounds good.
All right. Thanks, guys. See you next Tuesday.
Have a good night.
Night.
Night.